The real reason you're so hung up on the guy that doesn't want you is because it hit your core belief that you are not actually worthy or good enough for this person. And
Welcome to Lost Girl Therapy. Here's the hill that I will die on. We need to stop handing individuals who are in dating the idea that somehow on some level they feel undeserving of receiving love or they don't feel worthy of their partners. That is not a core belief. That is a shame narrative that we hand individuals in dating when we cannot make sense of the emotions that they are navigating. And when it comes to dating, there are a ton of emotions. There is confusion, there's excitement, there's nervousness, there's anxiety, all of which are normal when you are learning something new in partnership. You are getting to know someone new, whether it is dating long-term, dating casually, courting, situationships. You need to learn a whole bunch of new things about your partner, just as your partner needs to learn a whole bunch of new things about you. And that takes time. But because there is so much anxiety sitting in that uncertainty, when we talk to family and friends, they also cannot sit in that uncertainty. And it is so common for individuals to jump to handing shame to someone who is dating. They say you must feel undeserving of receiving love, or you don't feel worthy of your partner. That's why you feel uncertain. Couldn't the answer also be that you feel uncertain in dating simply because you're getting to know someone new and you're navigating a new experience? And even if you have dated before, having a new partner changes everything. But instead, we hand them these ideas. And the problem with the shame narrative is that eventually they start to believe that it is true, because shame spreads like poison ivy in the body. When we are handed shame, we experience a whole range of emotions. And I have a video on the cycle of shame, but this is a brief recap. We go through anger and feeling indignant. Then we feel embarrassed. Then we feel skeptical/doubtful. Then we ruminate on the idea that somehow this individual who shamed us might actually know more about us than we do. We begin to become anxious and nervous. And then the mind lands on the negative self-talk narrative that somehow on some level, what they said must be right and it must be our fault. So we begin to feel guilty. So when individuals hand us shame, we go through this entire cycle and then we land in the space that makes us feel like somehow it is our fault. Like somehow we must feel undeserving of love, or we must not feel worthy of our partner. And that is why we feel anxious or nervous or uncertain in a partnership dynamic. But you did not step foot on this earth feeling like that. Nobody steps foot on this earth feeling undeserving of receiving love. You had to be taught that, you had to be told that. So if you are somebody who is navigating dating and you're trying to figure out who you are and how you feel about yourself, and you keep coming up against this supposed core belief, look at it through the lens of shame. Go down the shame rabbit hole, find out who gave it to you, when you first heard it, how many times it was reinforced for you. Name the individual that consistently handed it to you, and then ask yourself, do I believe it to be true? 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. Because shame is something external. Shame is given to us when we don't meet the expectations of an individual outside of ourselves. So the only question that you need to ask is, do you want to continue trying to live up to the expectations or the opinion of someone else? Or do you want to redefine how you feel in dating and in love by learning how to sit in the uncertainty, processing the emotions, and putting a different name to them than saying there's a core belief that somehow I don't feel undeserving of love or I don't feel worthy of my partner?